Hey there, STEM Spark enthusiasts. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Courtney, and welcome back to the STEM Spark, where we ignite curiosity, creativity, and confidence in every learner through science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math. Today, we are doing a product review, and I am really excited about this product. I have used it a couple of times. I'm not 100% familiar with it, although I have used it a couple of times. So I'm sure there's more to discover, but I do really love the product. It is a Sphero Indi. It is a little robot. It is made by the Sphero company and it is intended for all ages. And it really is for all ages. So I would say this is for pre-K all the way up through middle school. There is quite a bit you can do with this little robot, and I am really excited to share that with you today. So the subject of this is going to mainly be technology. There's lots and lots that you can incorporate in with it, but it is a robot. So technology will be the focus of this one, and it comes in a kit, and we have lots of things that come in the kit with the robot. You have your charging cord, and it does hold a charge for quite a while. And then you have your rubber color tiles. So these you can do a screen-free coding. So this is great for those younger kiddos that if you don't want them to use the iPad or device to code, if maybe they just need something a little more simple, these are wonderful. They do lots and lots of different things. You can do all kinds of stuff with these, and they're very easy to use, and they're durable. So the color tiles are for the no screen code, and then you have some programming challenge cards as well. Um, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And it also has an app that you can use. And so this is one of the things that makes it so versatile to be able to use with so many different age groups and skill levels, needs, etc. So I'm really excited to jump in today and show you this amazing robot. Okay, purpose and learning objectives. What skills or concepts does this teach? So, outside of like your normal, you can do color, you could do shape recognition because the mats have different shapes on them. So, you can do that. You can also do angles because they turn different angles. You could do left, right. I mean, there's so many opportunities here for that. You can do the coding. So there's the color codes with the mats. You could also do the block coding on the iPad. So coding is definitely a skill that can be taught. You can also use this to interact with content. So one of the ideas that I was thinking of is having numbers around the floor and then giving a multiplication fact, and then they have to drive to the number, or they have to find their route towards the answer or whatever it is. And so things like that, like the opportunities are so versatile for content. One of the ways that I used it with middle school is we were studying marine biology, and I really wanted them to think about the big picture of the food web. And so each student and their partner got an marine animal, and they had to do some research about the predator, the prey, like all those different things. And then they decorated their little robot as their creature. And I put a map on the floor, and they had to go from their home base, like where they would naturally live, to their food source and back without getting caught by a predator. If they passed a prey on the way, they could eat it. So it was super fun, a great engaging way to incorporate what they're learning into a fun technology activity. And so I really think that this has so many applications so that kids are not only getting those necessary coding skills, because this is what our future is going to entail, but applying their learning in a fun and interactive way is such a great opportunity for them to experience what they've learned in a hands-on, more relevant to their generation kind of thing, right? So I am really excited about it. It absolutely 100% encourages creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration. I love it. For ease of use and setup, I would say this is super easy to get started. It is super easy to use. I really think this is probably one of the easiest robots I've ever handled, in the way of like you literally turn it on and use it. It is so simple. So I really love that feature about it. And there's so much inquiry learning that can be done with the mats. Like, what does this mat do? What does this color do? How could we get the robot to do these two things? So many inquiry moments integrated into this kind of learning. So it is so fun, so easy and simple. The app as well, I think, is also easy and simple. Simply turn it on. Your power button is at the back of the robot. So you're just going to turn it on. And then on your iPad, you're going to select your robot, and it automatically detects it pretty easily, and then you can double check to make sure that you have the right robot based on the numbers on the bottom. So there is like a little serial number, and you can just make sure. When we had a room full of kids connecting, it was important for them to double check that. So we have lots of different options on the iPad. We have some block style coding, we have lights, all kinds of different things. One of the things that I used for my students is they drove it. So if you go down to the little three dots, you can do RC drive, arcade drive, Sphero drive, or you can do a programming board. So I think a lot of them use the RC drive, and so you can just use it like a regular controller. Um, some of them, I think, used the arcade drive. I think this one was the easiest. I don't like the Sphero drive at all, but I mean, it is an option, right? So I let them test and see what they liked. Again, you can go into settings on here and they can change the color. So we did do some color changes when they were on the course. They could choose any color they wanted to be. When my students were in their home base, they changed their color to green. So that let me know, just a quick visual sweep, that they were back at home. You can change the drive speed. So that is also very relevant. We also had a conversation about, okay, what decreases when speed increases? So kind of thinking about that, you can change volume and different things. So lots of options within the app. I really love the different opportunities that this has for application. So it is super simple. The instructions are very clear. There is a booklet, there is information online, it is user friendly. I really like it. How long does setup take? It literally takes seconds. You just turn it on. If you're using the app, you just click to connect, and it does it very, very quickly. If you're not using the app, you literally turn it on, put it on a green mat, and it goes. And so it is super simple, super quick to get started. For the engagement and fun factor, is it enjoyable and engaging for kids? Yes, absolutely. I will say kids of all ages, even my middle schoolers, which sometimes are a bit of a hard sell on things, loved them. They took to them and they loved practicing. They loved trying different things, trying different ways to drive. So it was definitely enjoyable and engaging for all groups. Does it keep learners interested? For sure, it kept them interested. Anytime I said, okay, you can get your robots out, they went right away, got their robot and practiced. And so it definitely kept them interested. Is it something they'd want to use again? Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. I definitely think there are so many different ways that you can apply this. And so it is one of the things that would be great to have in your toolbox of options because there are such great opportunities to reinforce understanding, to enhance understanding, to measure understanding of like what they took away. I think that there's a lot of really cool ways you could apply this. What are the measurable takeaways or learning outcomes? Again, it doesn't have specific ones. You will have to kind of think outside the box of how could you apply this to your content? I could see it being even like a trivia game of like each group has a robot and they drive to the right answer. Or you have like an A, B, C, D on the floor, and you ask one group a question and they drive to A, B, C, or D. Like it's just another way to engage with content. So it can be just an added engagement layer to the content you're already doing. And so I think that there's so much wonderful opportunity for that. Does it promote problem solving or hands-on learning? Yes, I definitely think it would. I would love to be able to do this and have kids create an obstacle course, and then they have to use the color mats to get their robot through the obstacle course. And so things like that are wonderful ways to do problem solving. It is 100% hands-on. There's no way you can do it without being hands-on. And so I think that for this, it would 100% promote some problem solving. Is it inquiry based? Absolutely. It is inquiry based. And I could even see students designing their own method to use the robots to show learning outcomes. And so it could even be in that way of like, okay, we have these robots. What would you like to demonstrate? How can you demonstrate understanding of multi-digit addition with the robot? Or how can you use the robot to show your knowledge of the solar system or different things? And so I definitely think that there is a way to incorporate lots of inquiry, lots of hands-on and things like that. Are the materials durable and well made? 100%. They are very durable. The mats, the color tiles are durable. The case is durable. These little guys are very durable. I told my students, like, be super careful, but they are definitely very durable. Cost and value. Now, if you've watched any of my other review episodes, I am a stickler for price point and value. So the price point of each individual robot kit is $189. So for $189, you get the robot, the color tiles, the charging cord, and the box. And I will say it is worth it. It is 100% worth it. And even if you can only do one at a time and you let them share for review games or different things, like I would encourage you to do it. This robot is so versatile that it is 100% worth the cost. I know they are a little bit expensive, not as expensive as some, but more expensive than others. But for the value, for the durability, for their versatility, it more than compensates for the cost. And so I would say 100% they are worth the money to buy these. So hands down, zero hesitations. Are there any ongoing costs, subscriptions, refills, etc.? No, there are not. Not that I have found. If you want more color tiles or different things like that, obviously you would have to purchase those. But for the most part, they are just you get what you need to do the things. And the app was free. It did not cost anything either. So I would say it is 100% super valuable. Inclusivity and accessibility. Yes, I would say most kids of varying skill levels would be able to use this since there is a no code option. Also, multiple ways to drive it. So if you wanted to drive it, it's not just one way to drive it. So if you have a kid that just can use a finger, that is an option. And so I think that the accessibility and the inclusivity of this particular robot is pretty high. And so I 100% support that. Are there adaptations or options for kids with different needs or learning styles? 100%. And just like I said, there is the no code option on the tiles. There is also the different drive options. And so I think that there's just so many opportunities for students of different needs and abilities and learning styles for sure to have success. Tips and observations, I would say any tricks or advice for parents or teachers to get the most out of it? Be creative. Just be creative. Ask your students, just come up with questions and see what they come up with. I think that the application for this is so wide and so broad that there is so many opportunities. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff online as well. Um, I would say the more robots you have, obviously, the more engagement you're gonna have. Um, if you have one robot and you rotate it around, I still think that's better than none. I did partners for our robots, but you could easily do groups of 3 or 4 and use that, have them as you need. I think that pairing wise, I was a little concerned about pairing multiple robots in the room, but that went so smoothly. We did this for several days and we only had one issue pairing. And so the kids were able to problem solve that really fast. So I think that my advice would be to buy it and to use it. And once you use it, you're going to be like, okay, I want more. So definitely just a really great way, opportunity, tool to engage kids. Common pitfalls are things to watch out for. I think the only pitfall I found was, um, you do need to give them time to learn how to drive the robot. So make sure you're factoring that into your timeline of using the robots because it does take a little getting used to. And obviously, the kids that play more video games are going to have a better understanding. Also, I struggled remembering what each color was for on the no code mats. So, or the screen free code. Green definitely means go, but outside of that, it was a little, I just struggled a little bit to remember. I wrote myself a post-it note so that I could remember which one did what. But that was a minor thing. I do not really see a ton of pitfall or things to watch out for this one. Okay, the final verdict. Who would I recommend this for? I would definitely recommend this for any kids who like robots, or if you want a screen-free option for coding. This is a wonderful and visual way for kids to learn to code without complications that technology can bring. It's also a great tool that grows with students. And so as they grow, they can just do more with it or a more complex task. It's not obsolete as a lot of technology is as you grow. Would you buy it or use it again? Yes, I definitely think it's worth the cost. I would absolutely love to buy some of these. I borrowed these from our local college, and they have a program that allows teachers to check things out. But I would love to buy some of these and use them all the time because I really think that there's a lot you can do with these. So, yes, I would. A rating system. So for the rating, I would say a 5. Since the application is so versatile and the age range is so wide, I really feel like this is one of the best options out there and in the way of technology across multiple grade levels that is reasonably affordable. And so I definitely think that this is a wonderful option and a great way to include all kinds of learners. All right. So it is your turn. What would you do with our Sphero Indie? Please comment below, send an email to thestemspark@gmail.com with your answers. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to follow the show, leave a review, like or subscribe, and share it with a fellow educator, parent, or STEM enthusiast. I'll be back next week to keep your STEM ideas rolling along. This is Courtney with the STEM Spark, where curiosity sparks creativity. Bye.